Thank you for watching, and thank you to our sponsor, personal injury attorney Nelson Gavorkin. Here's Dana White. Hi everyone, I'm Manu Kakopyan, and I have the pleasure to be joined by UFC President and CEO Dana White. Dana, you're getting ready to stage the first ever live sporting event at the Sphere in Las Vegas, September 14 for UFC 306, Mexican Independence Day weekend. Let's get right into it. How is UFC Noche the most ambitious project of your entire career?
I don't know if it was the most ambitious. I would call going through COVID the most ambitious project of my career, but this is definitely number two. So Tom Brady hit me up and asked me if I wanted to go see you two at the Sphere. And I said, when is? He said, this weekend. So I said, yes, we go there. I'm sitting there halfway through the show. I'm blown away. And I'm realizing that the Sphere is the star of the show, right? So what happened? Have you been yet?
Not yet. Planning on it, though.
So you sit back in your seats and you're taking in the whole show, you know, and you're listening to this music that you love and that you're like, I'm going to the Eagles right after our event. The Eagles are there, so I'm going to see the Eagles there after. And every once in a while, you go like this and you look over and look at the band, you know what I mean? But the Sphere is the star of the show. And I'm like, this would be badass to pull off a sporting event here. Plus, I heard all the talk of people saying it couldn't be done. So I called my head of production, Craig Borsari, and I said, listen, I don't know what you're doing next weekend, but cancel it. You're coming to the Sphere to watch you too. Bring the team. I want to figure this out. And that night, I walked around with James Dolan, and he showed me all around, you know, the different things that the Sphere could do and what was happening. And literally that night, I made up my mind that I was going to do this.
Obviously, an incredible undertaking. We've seen you hint bits and pieces of it throughout the promotion leading up to it. You know, and it's taking place on Mexican Independence Day weekend, a date that is historically dominated by boxing. You know, you're going up against Canelo Alvarez's fight against Edgar Berlanga across the street. Canelo said he likes the competition, though. Turki Alalshikh said UFC is going to eat up Canelo's event. How confident are you that you can beat Canelo in boxing moving forward and turn the tentpole fight date into UFC's night?
Well, it's not even that I was looking to compete or hurt Canelo in any way, shape, or form. I respect Canelo as a fighter and as a person. I've met him. Super nice guy. I got no beef with him. I got no beef with Al Heyman. Good for Al. Al went in and stole the date for me, you know, fair and square. I blame MGM for that, not them. So, but if this didn't happen and didn't go down the way that it did, I wouldn't have the opportunity to do the Sphere. You know what I mean? I'm under contract with MGM, but they fucked me so bad that, you know, Bill Hornbuckle, the guy who runs MGM, he gave me the Sphere to sort of reach out the olive branch, I guess, to make this. So this thing was meant to happen. It was meant to happen. And you know, I'm not talking smack about anybody. This is going to be the biggest gate in UFC history. It's going to come in at $22 or $23 million. MGM is guaranteeing their gate at $25 million. You know what I mean? They're guaranteeing them the gate. It's legit my gate. And I'm sure Canelo is going to do fine, and he's going to make money, and we're going to do our thing, and we'll do it on the same night. And, you know, the Mexican people, not all Mexican people are fans of UFC yet. You know, they still have a lot of boxing fans. So I'm sure, you know, to have that same night, it's good for everybody.
You mentioned the record-breaking gate for Nevada that the UFC will have. You also said that it's costing upwards of $20 million to produce the event.
$20 million on the nose.
Yeah. When everything is said and done, will UFC Noche be considered a financial success for you guys too?
Absolutely. First of all, it's the biggest gate we've ever done. And number two, the pre-buys already broke the record for any fight we've ever done before. We're you know, more than a week out, and we've already broke the record for pre-buys on pay-per-view.
That leads me right into my next question. The main event, Sean O'Malley defending the title against Merab Dvalishvili. Do you also believe that having the more competitive fight could beat Canelo on pay-per-view?
Well, I mean, the whole card is awesome. You know, the main event, the co-main event, the trilogy between, you know, Alexa Grasso, Mexican-born, taking on who many believe is, one of the two baddest fighters in the female division of all time. You got her and Amanda Nunes. You know what I mean? Are the two. There was a debate for a long time who was the GOAT, her or Amanda, taking on Alexa. Ortega versus Lopez, Zellhuber, the whole card. We put together fights that night that we know will deliver and sort of make the entire night with everything that's going on even more special.
You've long said it's going to be the love letter to Mexico. You've obviously have been putting on a card dominated by Mexicans, Mexican Americans. There's a fellow Mexican American who last night, Oscar De La Hoya, said he's coming to the UFC Noche, UFC 306 fight instead of the Canelo fight. Is his gesture enough to repair your relationship with him? And do you have some good seats set aside for him already?
That's the first I've heard of it. Okay, that's the first I've heard of him coming to the event. Oscar and I haven't talked in a very long time. I don't know if he's part of Sheikh Turki's, seats, but yeah, no. That's Oscar being Oscar, coming out to shit on Canelo. You know what I mean? Like I said, we this event will sell out for us. It's the biggest gate in UFC history, and I'm sure there are tons of boxing fans who are going to watch Canelo too. So it's not my competition on Saturday night is not Canelo. This is a me versus MGM thing. It's not even about Canelo. MGM did this. They gave away my date, and it wasn't my date to give away. I took it the year before. They were pissed off at boxing, so I got the date the year before, right? And then literally that same weekend, they give it away without even telling me, asking me, or saying anything. We were calling to get the date again for us to find out that they had already given the date away. And then they go in and guarantee the gate for $25 million. It's just, these guys just are dirty at every turn. It's crazy. So yeah, my beef, believe me when I tell you, is not with Heyman or Canelo. I hope they kill it.
But a blessing in disguise for you, because you had the ace up the sleeve and you end up being first and setting the precedent for everyone to follow after.
It's incredible the way this played out. It was absolutely positively meant to happen. And what it's done now is changed my thinking of Noche UFC. Now on Sunday, September 15th, I'm going to be thinking, how do we change this up and make this special next year too? Do we do it in Mexico? Do we do it in Texas, Arizona? And what do we do? So no, this was absolutely a blessing in disguise. I'm so happy that MGM fucked me again. It led me down this path to do this.
Moving on to some non-MGM business, UFC Noche, it's sponsored by Saudi Arabia's Riyadh season. How are you planning on being involved with Turki Alalshikh's boxing projects moving forward with your company TKO Boxing?
Well, there's nothing done with his company. Obviously, we're doing some UFC events out there. I'm doing some power slap events out there with them. And when you look at what Sheikh Turki has done, he's made fights that you thought would never be made. It took Saudi Arabia money to get some of these boxing fights made. And when you think about the sport and how long it's been around, this is the first guy that is actually reinvesting back into the sport of boxing, investing into the sport. Everybody else takes. It's like a going out of business sale every time they put on an event. Let's grab as much money as we can and run. He's actually reinvesting in the sport, and I find it interesting.
Just in general, some UFC business. It appears lightweight champion Islam Makhachev's next title defense could be delayed due to injury. Are you considering an interim title fight for Arman Tsarukyan at any point? And what do you have planned next for the number 2 ranked Armenian?
Yeah, Islam's fought so many times and is always willing to jump up and take a fight. So no, there won't be an interim title. When he's ready to go, we'll go. We have plans. We're looking at it right now on when he would fight.
How about for Tsarukyan? Would it be
Yes,
against Tsarukyan?
he's the #1 contender.
So against Tsarukyan, December 7th, still likely or no?
I don't know. We're working on it.
Gotcha.
You
How
know, if
about
I say one word about anything, people that didn't do this interview will be right. Oh, Dana said, and that is not the case. So I don't. When I'm focused on the sphere, that's it.
That's why we always like to get the information straight from the source's mouth. And of course, Conor McGregor. Everyone wants to know the update, the date for his return. Well, what's the latest updates you can share on Conor?
I was skeptical from the jump, saying about Conor fighting in 2024. I am not about 2025. I think Conor fights early 2025.
Fantastic. And how about a blockbuster McGregor Canelo boxing match? I know that is something that perhaps both guys have been beefing in recent weeks. It appears they want the fight if the price is right. Is that a yes or a no?
Having trouble with the audio over here.
I'm saying
I heard you.
Could be big business, Dana. We'll bookmark that one for 2025.
Yeah,
but
let's put a pin in that.
Let's talk about the next Irish fighter you're all in on, Callum Walsh. I had a chance to connect with him earlier this week and at the Wildcard Gym in Hollywood with Tom Loeffler as well, too. He's obviously fighting in Dublin, September 20, UFC Fight Pass. And you'll be in Ireland right after UFC 306 to promote this event. No breaks for you. Why are you so high on Callum's future and potential?
Yeah, and this thing will actually be distributed everywhere. It won't be on UFC Fight Pass. This will be distributed everywhere. You'll be able to watch it in the United States, Europe, Australia, all over the world. And you got that fight Friday night, and then you got Anthony Joshua on Saturday night. So it's a cool weekend of boxing. I love Callum Walsh. I love his style. I love the fact that this kid, who's at 7-0, 6-0, was fighting real tough guys. And again, no different at 11-0. He's fighting a guy 22-2. He's willing to take tough fights, and I just like the kid personally. I got introduced to him. I liked him, and this is fun for me. I'm having fun doing this.
It should be an incredible homecoming for him. And I'll end our conversation with a focus on you. The nation saw you speak at the Republican National Convention in July in support of Donald Trump. I'm very curious. I'm sure a lot of people are. If Trump is elected and he has a special role planned for you, would you ever consider getting involved in politics?
No way in hell. No way in hell. I love Donald Trump. He and I are really good friends. He's been a very good friend to me for a long time. Obviously, I have supported him since the first time he ran. And when he wins and he does his 4 years, that is a wrap for me. I'm not interested in politics in any way, shape, or form.
Can we expect Donald Trump at UFC 306?
No, he definitely will not be there. He's busy. He's got things to do. The next time you see Trump at an event, he will be the sitting president of the United States.
Well, we'll wait to see the day if that happens. And lastly,
how do
you anticipate UFC 306 to be remembered 30 years from now?
That's interesting. I think that we did Noche UFC last year, and it was super successful. The energy in the place with all the Mexican people, but this one's so different and special. I think this one will be looked at like you said earlier, the Ultimate Fighter finale, UFC 100, UFC 200, UFC 300. This will be looked at as one of those major defining moments in UFC history.
Well, looking forward to it, Dana. Should be an incredible night of both MMA, boxing, everything all rolled into one. I think at the end of the day, fans win, Nevada wins, and I'm sure the UFC will be winning too.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the time as well, Dana. Good luck to you.
Thank you.